Hey guys! Olá, The Bizers! Tudo bem? Hoje a gente está aqui internacionalmente, já estou aqui rasgando meu inglês, porque nós estamos com um convidado super especial. Nós estamos aqui com Jonah Platt. Hi, Jonah! How are you?
Hi there. It's going great. Thank you for having me.
Gente, olha só, o Jonah, ele fez Fiero no Wicked, ele fez vários personagens incríveis no Hair, Bear em Los Angeles, e hoje a gente vai conversar um pouquinho sobre as experiências dele, sobre a vida dele. So, Jonah, to start, I really want to know, how is this quarantine going to you and your family?
It's going okay, thank God.
Thank God.
Everybody's doing well. We haven't had any medical issues, thank God, and we're just spending a lot of time together and a lot of time to work on some fun special projects and
Awesome.
just relax a little bit.
Yeah. I saw a few moments ago that you uploaded a video with your wife dancing.
That's an old video. Yeah, that's from a little over a year ago before my son was born. It was when we were in the hospital and she was about to give birth to my son.
Awesome, awesome. Jonah, you are a such creative person. You can act, sing, you write, produce, direct, arrange. So I really want to know, do you prefer the bright lights of the stage or the solitude of creating new pieces or of musics or scripts?
It's a great question. I think in the moment, I definitely enjoy the bright lights of the stage the most. I love being
Awesome.
in front of an audience. I love performing. There's no feeling like it in the world. I get a great feeling of satisfaction from writing and finishing a project and then seeing people enjoy it. That's a really deep satisfaction. But in the moment, performing is the best, and nothing can top being out on stage in front of a live audience.
Awesome. And when did you realize you wanted to be in the performing arts universe? As a child or just growing up, you discovered that?
It really was sort of how I was raised. Not necessarily to become a member of the performing arts community as a professional, but a love of the performing arts was instilled in me as a small toddler. My parents both love the performing arts, love musical theater especially, and that's what we did around my house. You know, as a 2-year-old, there's video of me singing My Fair Lady.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's just always been such a big part of me and my siblings' lives, and it became my great passion, so I just couldn't avoid it.
Awesome, awesome. Jonah, I checked out your resume on your website, and I saw amazing things about you, like your special skills. You can do different accents.
Yeah, I mean, some of them are a little rustier now than others, but for every time there's a part that requires an accent, even whether it's an audition or I've booked the part, I've done some training to master that accent. So the ones that I list on my resume are ones that I've specifically had to train for, either for a specific role or to audition for a specific role.
Awesome, awesome. In your resume, we have to beatboxing. Oh my God, I've never seen you beatboxing.
Really? Well, you can hear me beatboxing. I was in an a cappella group in college called Off the Beat. And
Awesome.
All of our music is on Spotify, Apple Music, all that stuff. And if you go to the albums that I was on, there's a bunch of tracks on there that I'm doing the vocal percussion on. But I've been beatboxing since I was about 14. It's something I've loved to do. I do it all the time, just while I'm walking around or I'm in the shower. I'm always either beatboxing or tapping out a beat at the table or whatever. My wife gets very irritated with me, but I can't help it.
Awesome, awesome. Jonah, I saw on your YouTube channel some videos called One Night Stand, and it's an amazing performances. I loved all of them, and can you talk to us about a little bit about it?
Yeah, I'm so glad you asked. One Night Stand was probably my favorite thing I've ever done. It was an improv comedy group that I founded and directed and performed in. And what we would do is we would create hour-long, completely improvised musicals. That means we would ask the audience to throw out suggestions for the title of the show that we were about to do. They would yell stuff out. We would pick one, and then right there on the spot, we would make up that musical featuring
at the time of the show,
and in the moment, right then
oh
and
my
there.
God.
And we would make it up, beginning, middle, end, making up harmonies, songs, choreography, all of it being made up as we go. It was a blast. We did them in Los Angeles, New York. We went to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival in Scotland twice, which is the biggest performing arts festival in the world. It's really a special, unique blend of all of our talents that was just so much fun.
Awesome. Jonah, I'm a big Wicked fan. So every time that I drink water, I have to sing. Yeah! So
hey!
I really want to know, how did you feel with a person belting at you 8 shows a week, every night as Piero? It
was fun. I mean, well, that's happening. I'm trying to remember what's going on in the show. So what's happening at that point is I'm in my dressing room while that's going on, making... Well, I'm not going to do any spoilers for people who haven't seen the show yet, but there's something going on backstage with my wardrobe between the prior scene and then during that song and then the scene that's going to come. But I was always hanging out backstage during that. So I would be in my dressing room doing whatever, and they have a speaker. So when that would come up, my ear always perks up to hear Rachel talking my character's name. But I was, lounging back in the dressing room.
She's amazing. Jonah, people have sent to us some questions. People are really interested to know about mishaps on stage. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, absolutely. Mishaps happen all the time. I mean, you're doing 8 shows a week. There's bound to be some mistakes somewhere. There were a handful of ones that stick out in my mind while I was doing Wicked. One time, there's a classroom scene where all the students are at Shiz University in Dr. Dillerman's class. And 2 benches come on like this, and everybody sits down on the benches. But for some reason, the automation, something happened, and only 1 bench came on. So those students sat down, and everybody else just was like, looked at each other, and then we all just sat on the floor. And you would never know if the audience, you've never seen the show before. So that was one. There have been times when Glinda's bubble doesn't go up, that machine breaks down, so she just sort of stands at the front of the stage. We had one show where Rachel Tucker got sick, like right.
Oh my God.
So she sang Wizard and I, came off stage and was like, I gotta go. I gotta call out of the rest of the show. I'm not gonna be able to finish it. So she didn't have to sing again for a little while. So while she was doing the next couple scenes, her cover was starting to get into makeup and get ready. And then by the next song, it was a whole new alphabet. So that was pretty
my God. Jonah, a lot of people ask you about your routine during a musical theater show.
It always differs a little bit here and there depending on the show and the demands of the show. But in general, the biggest thing that I always tell people to stay away from or be very careful about is talking at night in bars and restaurants. That is the worst trick because you want to go out after the show. You want to be social. People came and saw you, whatever it is. But then you go to a bar or restaurant, it's loud, and that's the quickest way to tire your voice out. So if you're going to go out and into those kinds of scenarios, you have to be what I call and what Seinfeld calls a close talker. And you just got to talk right into somebody's ear very quietly and maintain your discipline and not allow yourself to just go freewheeling. That's the biggest one, getting plenty of sleep and not being reckless with your voice in social situations.
Yeah. Do you have any pre-show ritual?
Yeah, so that one really depends on the show because different shows, if something's very vocally demanding, I might spend more time on my vocal warm-ups. And also Wicked, I was doing it 8 times a week. There's a little bit more maintenance than, for example, I was just doing a show in LA called Found, which wasn't as vocally demanding, and we only did 4 shows a weekend. So I didn't feel like I always had something left in the tank. So for Found, which is the most recent, I'll talk about that. I always would warm up by singing my most difficult song from the show. I felt like that song really went to a lot of different places in my voice. So it was a great warm up. I would sing it a couple times backstage. And then for us, we found our own kind of group routine. At a certain time, we would all get together and circle up. We all would say sort of the same things, do a little got your back ritual, and then you know, you find your rhythms, and the other character and I, who don't come on till the last second, we would hang together and we had our own little ritual before we went on. You just find a nice sort of pattern, something that makes you feel good, something that helps you lock into the groove before you do it each time. It gives a nice sense of like focus and familiarity.
Yeah, talking about your voice, you have a such powerful voice. How was your vocal training? How was that?
My life, I've gotten a lot of different styles of vocal training and experience over the years. It started with musical theater, straight musical theater, very focusing on like my belt, like chesty, powerful musical theater belts. The first big solo I ever had was "Sit Down, You're Rocking the Boat" from Guys and Dolls. And I remember having to like really learn how to belt that out. Sit down. Then
yeah,
as I got older,
your mouth opening is amazing. I have to say to my students, open your mouth. And I use your videos singing. Yeah,
oh, wow,
awesome.
thank you. Yeah, and then I got really into rock music in middle school and high school. So I started honing more of that part of my voice, which again was more at the rock style, the grit, the belting, power. And then I sang in choirs in high school also, and that was really good for that classical training and technique. And I learned a lot of stuff through that. And I took some voice lessons at the time to focus on classical training. And then just as I've matured, I've continued to take voice lessons and try to work on different parts of my voice and sharpen different tools. So I have a lot to pull from depending on what the song is, and try to keep it versatile.
Awesome. Jonah, I want to know if you continue to study some area like acting or dancing or singing, or I don't know.
Oh yeah, like I said, I mean, I had a voice lesson last week. I have a voice lesson next week. I was in an acting workshop yesterday. It's always important to just keep doing stuff and keep trying to learn and keep trying to get better. I feel like definitely vocally, there's like specific skills I know I want to continue to sharpen. So it's important that I stay after that. And then acting wise, I have, miles I can go. So just to be staying active and working, I find I learn a lot by doing with acting and just trying to get more reps in and more experience in different kinds of scenes and working with different instructors and scene partners. There's always plenty to learn.
Awesome. Jonah, do you have any dream role? I know that you wanted to do Hedwig, I think.
Yeah, wow.
But do you have another dream role? Male or female character, I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting. I got this question from someone recently, and my answer has really changed. I'm at the point of my career where my dream role really is originating a new role in a musical.
Awesome.
As opposed to reprising one that people have seen before. I'm part of 2 new musicals. That one was Found, that I was doing in LA, that I hope is going to continue, and the other is called A Walk on the Moon, and I'm originating parts in both of those shows. I really hope those will make it to Broadway, and that can be my dream role. But if I had to play something that's already been done, Sunday in the Park with George would definitely be a dream role for sure.
Awesome. Jonah, I saw on your YouTube channel a song called Wish from The Giver, a musical that you are developing. So can you tell us a little bit about this project and how is going during this time?
I would love to tell you. So The Giver is, it's based on a book, best-selling, wonderful novel of the same name. We've been working on it, my partner and I, for a number of years now. I want to say at least 5 years. And it's going really well. We are approaching the very end of what I'll call like the real working draft. It took us a couple of drafts to try to really figure out what the story was. It was a tricky adaptation from the book, but the one that we're locking in on right now, the script is written, all the lyrics are written, about 80% of the music is written, and we're just finishing the music to a couple final songs and recording all our demos. And then we'll have the draft that I hope you'll see on a stage sometime soon once theater is back up and running. Awesome.
Jonah, one more question. how was your musical instruments background? Because I know that you can play bass, guitar, and a lot of other things. I know that you love to do medleys.
I have a new medley that's going to be on television on Saturday night and also streamed worldwide all over the internet
Awesome.
as part of this it's called Graduate Together. It's a big special here in the US that LeBron James is hosting. Barack Obama is speaking at it. And my brothers and I are performing a medley of graduation songs to
Awesome.
celebrate all the graduating seniors who didn't get a graduation.
How was your musical instruments background?
Right. So I started with, my mom had us all take piano lessons from a young age just to introduce us to music. But my first love really was guitar, because I fell in love with the Beatles when I was 8 or 9 years old. And that made me want to play guitar in a big way. So ever since I was about 9, I've been playing guitar. And that was really my big musical focus. And I played all the time. I played in bands all through middle school and high school. I picked up drums to play drums in the high school orchestra because I just wanted to be playing music at school too. There's no guitar in the orchestra, but I thought drums would be fun. So I got a little bit of drum training that way. And then bass I picked up as I got older because it's pretty similar to guitar, just a little bit different. And I try to keep up with my piano a little bit, but really guitar is my main instrument other than singing.
Awesome. So this is it. Jonah, can you give any advice for our students, for people who want to pursue this career in musical theater?
It's a really hard road to go down. So the number one piece of advice I give to everybody is, if you can imagine yourself doing anything else, go do that, because performing arts is so hard to make a career at. But if you can't see yourself doing anything but performing, and it's the only thing you ever want to do until the day you die, then go for it. Just be prepared for a lot of ups and downs and enjoy the journey. It's good to have an end goal in mind that you're journeying towards, but really the whole thing in the end is the journey. So just enjoy everything along the way, celebrate every little victory. Don't sweat the failures. Failures are just how you learn more and get better for next time. And just keep pushing and don't give up.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jonah. We are so excited about it, and we are very happy, and we really appreciate your attitude to talk with us. So thank you so much. God bless you.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me, and everybody can always check out what I'm up to on my social media, Jonah Platt, or on my website, jonahplatt.com, or like you mentioned on my YouTube, which is youtube.com/JonahPLA.
Awesome. Gente, então não esquece de seguir o Jonah Platt aí no Instagram, no canal dele no YouTube, também siga aí a The Biz Arts, @The Biz Arts, também no YouTube, no Instagram. E é isso aí, gente. Até a próxima semana. Tchau, tchau.